Hi. Last night I was actually sitting somewhere and asked my views on the things that are important to bring up children who will live in the rest of the 21st century and then the 22nd century. And yes, that's right. The kids that are being born today or are small today will enter the 22nd century healthy and kicking. So the first thing that we need to understand is that the sort of world your child will grow up will be more dissimilar to yours than it has ever been in one generation, from one generation to the other. Second thing, and we'll discuss it, is that your child, the kids that are being born today or a few years old, are expected to live to be 120 years or more. And then you have to prepare your child for a different world, a world of dataism that is ruled by nanotechnology, genetic engineering, and artificial intelligence. So we cannot cover everything in a few minutes, but here are some of the important points. The first point is that in the world that is emerging now and in the world that will follow, your ability to learn will be a lot more important than what you know. So there was a time when memory and knowledge were king. You had Mr. Know It All, Madame Know It All, and you had shows that were a blend of the prowess of memory and knowledge, but not anymore. This is a world that will change very rapidly, and your ability to learn will be very important. So, you have to teach your child to learn right from the beginning, not indoctrinating, exploring and learning, investigating and learning, questioning and learning. Second thing that is important, that you have to prepare your child for a much longer lifespan. In the coming decades, we are likely to extend the lifespan to 110, 120, maybe even 150. At some point, we may be able to halt and reverse the aging process altogether. Now, consider the effects of this longevity on relationships. I'll give you only one example in the interest of time. In developed countries, there has been a significant increase in late life divorces in many countries over the last couple of decades. And it has become so common that they are now dubbed the silver splitters. There's nothing surprising about it because people now reach 60 full of life and vigor. They have 30 years of active, healthy, and energetic life ahead of them. So, why would they put up with someone who they are not getting along with? The demands of life, the encumbrances, bringing up children, paying the mortgage are all behind them. They have saved up some money. They have 30, 40 more years to enjoy their life. So they decide to go their own ways. And there are a number of other implications for relationships. So, and imagine what will happen when people reach 60 and they foresee another 80 years. So you have to encourage your little one to participate in family decisions, understanding relationships, problem solving. This will help. This will be needed a lot more than us because their lives will be less regimented and they will live longer. The third thing is that the gender differences are disappearing. Obviously, men will be men, women will be women, but your child will soon find itself in a post-gender world in terms of stereotyping, in terms of assigning totally distinct roles. That is a thing of the past. So cultural expectations will change. Fourth thing is that you have to understand that your child will enter a world where work will be in little supply. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Work will change and there may not be work for everyone to do because we are entering a different world where that many number of people are not needed anymore by the traditionally big employers like defense, army, transport, or agriculture, or industries. So obviously, you are entering a world where the rich may not need the poor, and that will throw up its own problems, but that's not my topic. How the society will adjust is impossible to foresee. But one thing is clear that only people with exceptional skills and highly specialized skills shall be in demand. There'll be a world where work will follow creativity and originality, not the other way around. Probably richer countries will introduce a universal basic income for many, and that means that not working may be a viable option. But you have to prepare your child for a different work, life, and world. The fifth thing is loneliness. Loneliness and stress are already a big problem. In his book, Future Flies, Richard Watson writes that the two major trends in the 21st century will be urbanization and people living alone, and we are seeing that. So, urbanization and both feed on each other. So, how do you handle loneliness in a world 50 years from now? You have to teach your child to distinguish the virtual from the real. People need company. They need intimacy and love. It has not changed. Now, teaching your child to value these things will be important because the temptation to live a virtual life will be immense even today. The temptation to live a virtual life for 8 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old is amazing, and the parents have to be very careful. It is vital to keep your children grounded and in touch with the natural world. Wherever you live, take them out, take them out, take them hiking, fishing, swimming in the sea. Do anything that brings your child into contact with the nature. Restrict their screen time, increase their interface with the nature. And the sixth thing is adaptability. Above everything else, your child will need to be adaptable. The world that will follow, the world that our children will live in, will be filled with change. And your children will have to adapt to more technological and social change than we did in last 200 years. No, that's too easy to say. Your child will have to adapt to more technological and social change than most of us can even imagine. And last but not the least is technology. It'll be a world led by technology. It's not a world where you will teach your child to shun technology or impose curfews or things like that. It's like television or cars when we were growing up. No, teaching them to use technology moderately, all this is, you have to teach them to use technology constructively. They teach them to use technology to help them improve their writing, reading, and math skills. They should be brought up to look to technology as a mentor anytime you need constructive help and not as a means to get away from the mundane. If they grow up viewing technology as a source of entertainment, then that is bad news. They have to grow up seeing technology as their helper, as their friend to go to. So if you want to prepare them for the future, you have to teach them that technology should be used with wisdom. And lastly, when we are on technology, talk to your child about responsible digital practices. There'll be a lot of regulation as they grow up. Regulations will become tighter, and they have to. Otherwise, the societies will start to disintegrate. And when they become tighter, your children will find it difficult to unlearn bad habits. So you have to teach them right from now the ways to behave safely and responsibly in the digital world, how to avoid cyberbullying, how to judge the accuracy and the bias of online news, and a number of things. But what is important is that you have to inculcate the right digital culture in your child from now.